Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. All right, so we are in game number 7, absolutely epic. We're going to be on Knockout with Royal here in the bottom right and Soma in the top left. This has been a great series. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I think it's been a great lead up to the ASL beginning. ASL VODs will start tomorrow on the Soup channel. Of course, ArtosisCasts won't miss a day during it, hopefully. But yeah, that's there you go. That's what it is. I hope that you guys still can watch ArtosisCasts. I understand though that a lot of people don't have time for that, so definitely do check out those ASL VODs. I mean, that's the best tournament out there. So I would be very surprised if you prioritize this over that. It's understandable. But yeah. You can check it out still, do please. Of course, as I mentioned, this is Knockout. It's got this kind of little low ground area right before your walled area. I think that, like I mentioned, I believe I mentioned this before. Didn't they play Knockout in game 1? I think they did. But it's like primarily, I think, to make Hydra busts weaker, but would make any kind of aggression on a natural a little bit weaker from ranged units. But yeah, I like the layout. I love the minerals on the ramp. Definitely is smoother to deal with for pathing issues. It's a very updated version of Circuit Breakers. Circuit Breakers was a lot of fun for a long time. It did not feel like a particularly good map by the end. It felt like it was becoming a bit imbalanced and a bit predictable, but I think Knockout is a very good improvement so far. I've enjoyed my games on it for sure. It's definitely very interesting with the different paths. Anyways, right now we have Royal walling in. And yeah, Soma just with a regular fast expansion. We have the spawning pool going up with that geyser as well. And yeah, I mean, very, very standard openers overall. You know, I think looking at it, he is sending out the second SCV for the scout, so that's good to see. And you can see there's like some optimization here where he's actually like might get supply block just for a moment, but the mining is much better. And that's based on putting down this secondary depot with this SCV. Normally you need to start this depot before this barracks finishes to not get supply blocked between SCVs and Marines. And you can see you did get supply blocked there just momentarily. But when you're building it your natural, it doesn't make so much sense. Anyways, that's kind of like a little bit too deep of a dive, sorry. But right now, the SCV just kind of scouting around, checking that layer timing a little bit. There are some lings on the way. They're not going to be able to do anything because we have excellently placed wall in here. A few Marines moving out onto the map, but I don't think that, again, they can really do much of anything. The SCV actually only ends up scouting 2, but there are 2 more on the way. There is a possibility he'll move out with 4 or 5, and you can get damage with that sometimes. If your opponent is really, really greeting hard and doesn't happen to scout. It is a little bit of a risk, though. And in the meantime, oh, it's going to be a second Rax? Oh, okay. This wasn't what I expected at all. It's going to slow down any academy timing quite a bit, but that's okay. I think he's going to skip his second depot because he's actually diving with these Marines, so these will die no matter what. Or almost no matter what. Yeah, because he made a sunken, there's actually a chance Soma doesn't make more lings and these Marines just go home. In which case you got to kind of stop producing Marines for a moment, probably. Oh wait, he did add in a third depot. Oh, my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, the command center going to finish up. It's a little bit late on the gas and definitely going to be late on the academy. Not so late that you're likely to like lose the game or anything, but he's just trying to put on some pressure with these Marines. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. Notice how he just keeps moving across the map, you know, with this like a slightly larger group, The thing is there's a sunken, so technically this stuff beats this stuff. The sunken plus the 3 lings. But yeah, like he dived in too quick. Like if you line it all up and then go, you actually will force him to pull his drones, but he shouldn't end up dying, and you will end up losing all the Marines most likely if you do that. But we have the academy coming up, the engineering bay coming up here as well. Spire on the way in the top left. And it's like overall, it's not that weird of an opener from either side. Like it's pretty standard. I kind of enjoy to see Royal try this. Like I've put some time and effort into trying to play builds like this, but it normally feels pretty much like what you saw. He didn't get to force anything after the first sunken, even though he continued to make the Marines and walked out once again. Now, there is a world in which a bunch of Lings are made and you lose those initial 4 Marines and the second rack's quicker makes a lot more sense. Here, it didn't do anything, but it could have in other circumstances. Now, a few Lings scouting around. Drone going towards the top right. And definitely getting ready for that Ultralisk harassment. +1 flyer carapace on the way. Now, that isn't very common these days, but Royal has been known to still use Valkyries occasionally. Did use them in that previous game, so maybe he's kind of prepping for that. He's getting ready for the potential of some Valkyries coming out and being able to fight against those. If you have the +1 flyer carapace, you do a really good job against them. Also, I'll be honest, I think that +1 flyer carapace might actually be better for Guardian Rush nowadays. Everyone gets +1 attack, and it makes sense in a lot of ways, but if you get +1 carapace, like the Guardians just don't die to the Valkyries. I don't think that's what he's doing here, though. Third hatchery up in the top right. We don't see any sort of like Queen's Nest or anything, so yeah, that definitely doesn't point towards another Guardian Rush in this game. Notice that he did just use it on that one map where you have the very fast third gas in your main. Now, 2 more racks coming up, so going up to 4 barracks while he is teching up as well. Only 1 missile turret here, so he's got to do a lot of zoning. He's got the 3 here. These are not very repairable. This one's not very repairable. If you're really good, you can repair this one and maybe this one. So, like, if Soma builds more mutas and decides to dive, he will be able to knock out some of these turrets pretty quickly. Now, hatchery finishing up in the top right. Hydralisk Den, Queen's Nest, Zergling Speed, all on the way right now. More mutas coming across. Really very minimal as far as interaction. The Marines moved out twice, the mutas flapped around, and that's all that's really happened. Now, finally going to have a little bit of that interaction. By the way, what we've seen done here by Soma, he focused more heavily on getting a few more drones out instead of mutas there for a little bit, which is why he wasn't really diving. He was very low on mutas. He was just kind of like showing them. He was peacocking around with the mutas and trying to make sure that Royal didn't get too greedy. All right, the starport is coming up, and there is an armory on the way, as well as an add-on. Huh. I don't see... No, the timing doesn't exist for a siege tank push, I don't believe. This is a... I think it's actually going to end up being Valkyrie into mech, maybe? But we'll see. He might go, like, a few tanks here. But don't forget, like, he did get +1 flyer carapace, so the Valkyrie is actually going to be kind of weak in this circumstance. Ooh! Picks off a couple mutas. A little bit sloppy there from Soma. Not what you want to see. Now, a huge group of speedlings out on the map getting ready to try to crush this army. Royal, will he move back? Ooh, this one scout marine sees so many Zerglings. You have to back up. You have to back up. I actually think that Soma could kill this right now. It looks like he doesn't want to take that engage at the moment. Does fly away with those mutas. Oh, and see, I told you. I told you it was going to be a mech build. Yeah. Vulture speed. I've seen a variant like this a few times where you go Vulture speed, and what you do here is, because they set up defensively like this with like Lurker plus Sunken Colony, you wait till Vulture speed and like 3 to 4 Vultures, and then you just run past Lurkers and Sunkens and go kill drones. I would imagine that's what he's going to do, but we'll see in a moment. Now, he actually started to push right there. I'm surprised he's turning around, because this was actually a great opportunity to bust that base potentially. Does deal a lot of damage to those mutas overall, but they do still live through it. A lot of Lings out in front, and it looks like he did see those vultures. So something that Soma is going to want to keep in mind. is that there are vultures sitting there in the natural. Like we saw some Zergling blood, so he definitely ran in with the Lings, recognized that he couldn't do anything, and then turned around. So hopefully he kind of registered that this is going to be a mech switch. There's no way that you would just go vultures with this. That would be like against a super, super aggro kind of all-in play. The vultures with mines can do well. Otherwise, they just aren't really all that useful. Okay, pushes back those mutas slightly. The 3 vultures are out. What are they going to do? Not entirely sure. Actually, still getting some decent volleys there with the Valkyrie overall. But as you can see, the Valkyries normally would have already shredded these mutas. But that +1 flyer carapace really doing a lot of work. Tries to lay some mines down here. The Vulture's really not finding too much use on the map so far. I thought for sure he'd try the run-by technique. But he's just kind of like patrolling the center a little bit, laying a few mines here and there, which isn't like necessarily bad, but this is not as useful as you might think. Like a lot of people try to tell me that you should use more vultures in Terran vs. Zerg. And with Bio, it's really not the case. With Mech, of course, like they can be very, very strong. But like as you see here, they're not doing that much. Right? They're not doing something that your Bio Force couldn't do if it had vessels. Like you know, if you play Vessel like Bio regular SK Terran, right? Like you walk around and you'll leave Marines out to scout and stuff, and that's kind of what these are doing. But it is a mech switch, so it makes sense that he has those out there. But like, let's say he was going for Marine Medic Science Vessel, like what use have these done? Basically nothing. Okay, the couple vultures still running around. He is scanning a little bit. Some of the mines that did get laid got picked off. New base coming down. You can see how he's getting up to 4 bases very quickly. Nice play there from Royal. Definitely needs to do so. Factory count is coming along very nicely. Little bit messy with where he put it. Hopefully he's able to still get his production going. Runs by with these vultures now. Going to try one of these harassment techniques. All right. Oh, actually already doing a really good job. Like 4 drones already dead. Going to be able to absorb a lot of these Zerglings as well, but they will end up feeding the vultures if you don't micro. And it's not really worth it to micro at that moment. Now, it looks like we had a little counterattack in on this 4th base. Very similar to what we saw in Dominator. You know, the little counterattack with the lurkers forcing a cancel on the 4th. So seems like something that is occurring quite a bit. Now, the Marine Medic going to rotate out a little bit here. New command center placement. I didn't even recognize that there was ground here that could be built upon. That's kind of cool. Someone's going to try to hide carriers there. This is going to help me win a game. Just casting this and seeing him build the command center right there. All right. The Vulture's still kind of roaming and getting in front of that exit point, trying to lay some mines down. Moving forward with this Bio Ball. No Dark Swarm. So he's actually going to get great usage out of these Marines right now. This is like perfect for Royal at the moment. Really, really, really good. Killing that base off with your bio during this transition is amazing. Now, there is a different 4th base location, so, like, Soma's still okay, but this is a great moment for him. In fact, gets another lurker kill. Trading these units as you actually build up your mech count is a very good move. You have to be careful not to trade them too quickly. Like, they need to choke things up for a little bit. And look at that, Vulture's even running by here. They need to choke things up for a little bit and just slow Zerg down. That's what allows you to get into your 4-base macro with mech. Barracks not gonna last too much longer here. Gets the Nidus, so he's actually done really great work with that Marine Medic, and now that supply is freed up. That's going to allow him to produce more of the Vultures, tanks, Goliaths, whatever it is that he does need. Now, a single Lurker gets up here with Dark Swarm. That is highly annoying. Of course, completely invincible. A million Siege Shanks can't kill that. Until it unburrows. Then maybe. Ooh, where's he going? He's actually just going to run? Okay. Getting ready for this additional base, sending some SCVs down. Okay, so starting some science vessel production as well, which I find kind of interesting. It's not like he has a ton of gas, but I guess he banked some while making all those vultures. It's hard to protect those because Goliaths are really, really bad against Scourge. So I'm not entirely sure what they're for. Like, he might be like, okay, this is going to be my anti-muta, anti-queen type of thing. It's not that they're not useful. It's just like they do cost a lot. And again, they are a little bit hard to protect. So right now, more vultures just kind of running around. Taking a look over at Soma's base. He is getting the Ultralisk tech going, which again is a little bit interesting. Ultras are generally countered by mech, but they're not completely useless. They still have a place. Like, for instance, if you're doing drops, they can be useful. If you're going like kind of ling heavy and clearing out some mines, sometimes it can be useful to get some ultras out there as well to actually have some sustainability that the vultures can't clean up. Because like vultures just can't kill ultras. Takes about 300 vultures to kill an Ultralisk. So it can be useful in those ways, but of course tanks really, really can kill them off quickly. 9 ultras on the way. The supply of Soma is actually very high at the moment, so I think it is going to fare reasonably well. Little bit of a Dark Storm attack getting in. I actually didn't even recognize that he had snuck this past. And burrows a couple lurkers under these separate Dark Storms, so that's going to be very, very annoying to deal with. Just clearing out what he can with the Zerglings also. Buying some time, keeping him back. This is the type of move you need to do as Soma. Notice how he's setting up this other base again. He's getting his army out. At the same time, though, Royal is getting up another base of his own, but this is slowing him down, and having to clean this up will give Soma more time to get some more of these upgrades. The Ultralisk speed, of course, going to be very important with the amount of ultras that he's made. Obviously, he already has Overlord speed, but he might want to think about trying to clear out some of these mines ahead of time. I do like these double lurkers in the center, by the way, and he is going to kill those. Vultures absolutely can take these down. But yeah, just having a couple out there it's been very annoying. And it looks like actually the scan, I guess, didn't see that one. I thought it did, but oof. Okay, finally clears up this base. Pretty similar, once again, in those army supplies. And here's the drop I was talking about. Ultras are very, very good in drops. Flying over some of these mines. Going to see that command center, so that's going to be something else he wants to deal with later on. Not sure where he's going with this, and the fact that it's only ultras is a little bit of a problem as well. Generally, like a Defiler in there can be really good. Lings added in can be very strong as well. Actually decides to drop out most of the ultras here. Another little ultra attack in. I gotta say, I think, even though it's kind of a weird looking game and not like a super ton of action, it feels to me like Soma is taking control here. You can see, like, he's doing Ultralisk drops into the mineral line, which is a little bit weird. He's doing drops over here and just kind of slowing things down. But he is, it feels to me at least like he's dictating the flow of the game. The thing is, the economy is big enough for Royal that I feel like I would feel pretty confident in a game like this. But look at this. He's got a ton of ultras over here suddenly, clearing out these siege tanks. We don't actually have very much in the way of reinforcements coming over. Definitely a bit of a problem. And with the Defilers coming in as well, going to be a bit of an issue. Throws down that Dark Storm, going to run up with those ultras. Obviously going to take less damage under those Dark Storms, even from the siege tanks. Maybe especially from... Well, no, especially from the Goliaths. A lot of mines hitting those. Well, that's where you see the ultras actually start to get a little bit weaker for sure. Some Overlords flying in, but they don't actually have anything inside of them. This one does. A single Lurker plus Defiler, so that can shut down a base very, very quickly. He does have a Radiate, so maybe he can deal with it that way. Really annoying there. You just kind of have to vacate till that blows up. Still the command center floating. Little Vulture run by here in the top right. Definitely some decent damage going down. Yeah, get some very good picks there, but a lot of Overlords coming over to pick up more Ultras for a drop. Filer just chilling. You can throw down another one, too. That's funny. He has enough energy. Got an offensive mine, that one, I guess. Okay, so Soma has now taken a mineral base here. Okay, nothing there. He's denied this base. He's had this base mining for a while. He's got this base up and mining now. His supply is really, really high. His drone count, very, very good. Almost nice. Yeah, I don't know. Still, I think it matters partially on engagements here. I like how Soma's moving around, though. Like, he's just kind of dropping some Ultralisks out and finding these positions where he's picking off a few units. And this is very annoying for Royal. You can see he's trying to move his army back to deal with these Ultras, but he doesn't have a good defensive stance. So, like, as he moves around to deal with this, Soma can send more units out and do more moves like this as well. And don't forget, an Ultra costs less than 2 siege tanks. So if each of these Ultras is trading with, like, let's call it even a siege tank and a Goliath, that's, like, pretty much even. Get on top of some of these siege tanks, and yeah, he's going to pick off quite a bit under that Dark Storm as well. Soma having a very good time here reducing the supply of Royal. SCVs being chased out from that left-hand base. And now we're to the moment where it looks like Soma is just going to flood for basically the rest of the game. It does look like Soma is running away with this a bit. Not really a lot left going on for Royal. He doesn't really have any Spider Mountains out in the front. He doesn't have any good sieged positions. He is going for +3. He still has 4 bases technically, but having a hard time even keeping them mining here. I think he needed just slightly better defense against some of these early harassments that we saw. And as you hear a million scans, that's normally right before a Terran GG's. Normally what you do as a Terran player is you scan everything so you don't have to look at the replay because you're angry. GG. And that's it. All right, so there you have it. GG. Soma takes down Royal 4-3 in an excellent best of 7. Big thanks to Caster Muse for providing this show match. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.